That one time I followed through, and it got me everything that I've experienced to date. Yeah, let me get on there. That one time I followed through, and it got me the experiences that I have to date. And that's, I was sitting at a friend's house. We had been in Arizona out west for maybe 6, 7 months. Um, this had to be 96 or 97. And we was sitting, I was sitting on my friend's house, and we was watching, I think, Thin Line Between Love and Hate. And she says to me, "Oh, I'm in this movie." I was like, where? So she shows me, and that's me, that's, blah, blah, blah. And then that's my boy right here. So I was sitting on the couch. Thanks, Malik. So I was sitting on the couch, and one Thin Line Between Love and Hate came on. And she had said, "Yeah, I'm in this movie," and blah, blah, blah. Started pointing out. I was like, word? So, mind you, I'm in Arizona. I moved there to get into show business. So, what I had always learned is talk about it. Somebody knows somebody who knows somebody. So, as soon as she said that, my ears popped up. I think I might have been tired. We had just got off work. And, yeah. And I was like, so you, hey, so how'd you get on the movie? I was on it. And she was like, "Oh yeah, so I do some modeling and da 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 blah blah blah." And ran into one of my friends who's in the movie too. He a supermodel. Blah. I was like, "Who? Point him out." She pointed him out. I was like, "You got his number?" And she thought I was playing. Ain't nobody telling jokes over here. You got his number? And she was like, "Yeah, I think so." I was like, "Find it." She still think I'm playing. So it's like 5 minutes later, I'm like, "You found it yet?" She's like, "Oh, you serious?" I'm like, "Yes, yes." Fine, because quiet as kept. She still wanted to be, because she's deep in it now, but she still wanted to, be in that space. So she was like, "All right." So she went and found his number, and the rest is history. He's the reason why I know anybody and everybody, or gain any of the experiences. Well, she's the reason, really. But because I followed up and followed through, like 2 weeks later, I planned a trip 2 weeks later and ended up in LA. I met dude, and from then on, everything else is history. Because of that meeting, I got introduced. Because of that meeting, I got to work for Master P. Because of that meeting, I got to live in Studio City. Because of that meeting, I got to live in 54th and Normandy, Malik. But had I not followed through, that conversation could have ended with, "Yeah, I was in this movie. Here I am right here." And if I wouldn't have said nothing, we wouldn't be right here talking like we talk right now. Had I not said nothing, that moment. But I've always been like that. You have to follow through, because opportunity meets preparation is how anything happens in life. The opportunity presented itself, which the information she gave me, and I was prepared to go out as soon as dude said. I said, so when she called him, she found his number. She called him. I said, "Call him up." She called him. He was like, he picked up the phone. She was like, "Hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah." I said, "Yeah, watching the movie. Thin Line Between Love and Hate. And I got a friend over here, a writer, and da da da. And he, we're trying to get on, whatever, whatever." And then she put me on the phone with him. He was like, "Hey, what's up? Blah blah." I was like, "Yo, when can we meet?" He's like, "When can you come to LA?" Nigga, I'll be there in 2 weeks. Because my boss was my friend, the girl, husband. Hey, nigga need to go. And we set a time and date to meet up then. Boom. I went to LA, and the rest is history. Because I followed up. And because of that phone call, I was only at that job for one whole year, July 7th. I remember it because of the date, July 7th to July 7th of 97, 96 to 97. I was a maintenance man. And it only took me that long. From the time I moved to Arizona, it was like 2-3 months later, I got that job. I was at that job for a whole year before I got that first phone call. You can quit your job. And went to LA. And so when I got that job was spawned everything in the future. But that follow-up, being on time, that's why people, they make jokes about it because I'm a stickler for time, but it ain't funny. It's not. Because in show business, especially if you're making a movie, time is money. And if you are late and we have the budget, you fired, period. That's just how it is. And time is money. And so when I do something with you, if it's not, production or whatever, or we have a meeting, I expect you to be on time because I'm going to be there at least. If it's a gig that I'm doing, I'm there an hour early at the venue. If it's a meeting, I'm there at least 30 minutes early so that just in case something happened on the way there, whatever the case, because I respect your time. I respect and understand that there's a lot of shit going on in our lives, and to take the time out to meet with me, your time to meet with me is precious to me, and I expect the same in return. And people don't live like that nowadays. I done had so many problems just with that, and dealing with people. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. People think, and then they chalk it up to, that's just CPT. That shit ain't funny to me. It's not funny to me at all. Because I know the benefits of being on time and following through. I got my very first job as a kid because I was on time. I followed through, and he felt sorry for me because I waited there because they had some kind of emergency at the restaurant. This is in South Haven. And I had a big-ass pimple on my nose. I was 16. I had this huge pimple. I was looking at it the whole interview, and I know he was looking at it, too, and worried if that shit was going to bust in the burgers. I was cross-eyed the whole time looking at that pimple. But because of my patience and follow through, he said the shit. Because you were patient and you followed through. Because I went there when I was 15. They told, and then the law changed. And he's like, come back when you're 16. And I went back when I was 16, and he gave me a job. So it's always been that phrase, opportunity meets preparation, is the realest shit ever. The realest shit ever. Opportunity, because your opportunity will come. I guarantee it. I can promise you. It's going to come. But will you be prepared? That transcends into relationships. Ladies, I know you don't want to hear this. Fellas, too. We be praying all the time. Oh, send me that great man or great woman or non-binary. Send them to me, God. I need that great person in my life. Praying for it every day. Going to church. Praying. And never ask yourself, would you recognize that person if they came? Did you prepare yourself to receive that person? 9 times out of 10, nope. I done been in plenty of relationships where they didn't pray for that shit and it's sitting right in front of them and they don't recognize it because they never had it. And I could be 100,000 with you because we be arguing, but we argued about it and had epiphanies together. Me and my girl now. You know what I'm saying? I done had that conversation with her. She ain't no different. She prayed for it, got one in front of you and don't know how to treat them because you never had one. Got one right in front of you. All that shit y'all be praying for right in front of you, but you don't know how to handle it because you never prepared yourself. You've been beat down so long with bullshit. You expect bullshit and pray for the bullshit not to be bullshit, and you pray for that and focus on that so much, you forget to train yourself to recognize the good shit. And so that transcends into everything. You know what I'm saying? We be wanting certain things, like I wanted to be in show business so bad that I did some research. Sometimes it wasn't enough, but I learned the hard way, this, that, third, but I did some kind of research so that everything wasn't foreign to me. You know what I'm saying? So if I wanted, just like me, I prayed for a good woman. Prayed for one. I remember when I did it, walking down the street, going to the house where I met her the very next day. right? Prayed for her. I prayed for her. That's why I married her. Because this person came because I prayed. This is what I was believing all in the Lord. I prayed for her. She came the very next day. And because it happened the very next day, I thought that was a sign. I prayed for her, but I wasn't specific. I wasn't specific. I said, send me a beautiful woman. That's exactly what the fuck I got. She fine. Everybody wanted her. But that's all I said. That's all I got. That's all. Be specific is the lesson in that story. Be specific. Maybe next time I send me a beautiful woman, that know how to read. Maybe next time I put a list together. Send me a beautiful woman that can read, has all her teeth. I've been crossed that requirement out because I ain't got all my teeth. So, some things you gotta adjust as you get older. Well, she ain't gotta have both legs. One leg will do, hop around with each other together. Life is a motherfucker, man. That's the bottom line. Life is a motherfucker. I will leave with a song, so I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody on my Facebook Hood Rawlz channel. Thank y'all for hanging out for a minute and everything like that. But I need this phone so I can do what I'm about to do to end the show. Holla. Y'all go check out the Spotify and everything. And remember that slow growth, it might not mean big things for y'all, but it's big to me because it was organically grown and people are loving the music, and I don't care that we ain't got thousands yet. Notice I said yet, because that shit is coming. Every day our shit has grown. I bet you if I look right now, is there time for that number to change yet? Not yet, it hasn't changed yet. But we had, one of the accounts, we had 411 monthly listeners. It was lower than that yesterday. It was lower than that the day before that, and it was lower than that day. Every day that shit grows since we started in March. And it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And so I expect at this rate by, 3 months from now, we'll be in the thousands in regards to monthly listeners, because I am putting out new music at least once a month. I try to do it twice a week, but if it ain't banging, I'm not putting it out. So, I'm a holler, man. I'm gonna leave y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon, because I always post something on my page. But I need this so I can go out with a song for the show. Let me go out with something. Oh, I like this. So this is the intro to my album, my latest album. I got several singles up, but this is the intro to my latest album. And this intro right here explains the purpose of Greenwood District music. So take a listen to it, understand where we coming from in our journey in this music thing, and take it for what it is. Thank y'all for hanging out. This is Hood Rawlz. I'm out. Mic check up. I think I got everything right this time. I am attempting to draw attention to and carve out a lane for Gen X hip-hop artists. Yes, we have bars too. We have accepted the challenge put out to black male rappers to do something different. This has been repeated by some of the OGs like T-Pain, 50 Cent, and others. Do something different. T-Pain says, do something different. Exclaim to T-Pain. I want to figure out a new way to showcase our brand of hip-hop and or music in general. I want to figure out a new way to
showcase our brand of hip-hop and/or music.
And use
A lane and/or brand of music that we can be
television and ad placements.
We can be positive without being Christian or religious based and gritty without being.
We can be positive without being Christian or religious.
Can we have a song where a brother doesn't have to die
and or gritty without being overly crass and corny?
Don't get me wrong. I like my thug music for working out and getting pumped or excited. But all of it, all of today's rap.
Don't get me wrong.
I know the difference between the two, but that's another debate, Fred.
But all of it.
Take your time and make a classic.
50 Cent said, all of it. All of today's hip hop, rap sounds the same.
Who better ready to explain this concept other than showing
examples? I know the difference between the two, but that's another debate for Fred. Take your time to make a classic.
With the upcoming Oldham project, take your time and make a classic.
If you are a fan of the late 90s to the early 2000s, look no further. Take your time and make a
The
classic.
marketplace is screaming for the difference.
Sometimes you have to build a show that it can work. Exhibit A. Hood
Rawlz is not new to the game.
If you are a fan of the late 90s to the early 2000s, look no further. Look no further. The marketplace is screaming for different. And why reinvent the wheel?
There are a ton of us who yearn for the nostalgic sound.
Some of today's music.
Music with substance. Music we can have fun with.
Music that can provoke thought. There are a ton of us who yearn for that nostalgic sound in some of today's music. Music with substance. Music we can have fun with. Music that provokes thought and conversations. Music that challenges us. Perfectly curated and created music matched with the right vocal presence can be magic. And that's all I have to say about Hood Rawlz. I will let the voice.
You heard the man.
And the music speak for itself.
You heard the man.
I'll highlight y'all. Thanks for hanging out. I'll talk to you in a minute, Malik. Peace. Bless up.